Good afternoon. How are you? Hello, my name is Dr. Susan Bristow. I am a professor here at the Sam and Walton College of Business in the Information Systems Department. And I want to welcome you here to the IT Executive Forum. The opportunity to host is made by the Information Technology Research Institute, or ITRI. The ITRI is an outreach group here at the University of Arkansas. This event provides students a rare opportunity to interact with IT executives from our board member companies. They are sitting on stage right now, and I will let them introduce themselves in just a minute. It is our hope that through today's experience that you, the students, will gain deeper insight into various careers in the field of information technology. We will accomplish this by allowing you to ask questions of these executives regarding the rewards of being an IT professional, IT career opportunities, skills needed, trends in IT, and any other IT-related questions. You are also eligible for door prizes today, and hopefully you have received a ticket. Did everybody get a ticket? Great, okay. If you do not have a raffle ticket, be sure to fill out the registration card and then turn in to receive one. We will take questions for about 50 minutes, maybe a little less, and during that time we'll intermittently do a door prize draw for them. Finally, we will take a few minutes to wrap up the event at the end. So now let's figure out who is with us today. So those of you from Don Tyson School of Innovation. Woo! All right, very good. Those of you from Siloam Springs. Yay, good, excellent. And our Springdale High School IT Academy. Wow, very good. Any other schools that we missed? All right, welcome very much. All right, so I think we will now allow the board members to introduce themselves, and we'll start with Laura.
Hi, my name is Laura Bennett, and I am a senior recruitment manager for engineering and technology for J.B. Hunt. So I'm not the most technical person up here, but I help people find jobs.
Okay, my name is Clay Causey. I'm the Chief Customer Relations Officer for the Arkansas Department of Information Systems. We handle all IT for all state agencies everywhere. And one thing, this customer relations, even though you're coding, you're doing all that great stuff in your office by yourself, always remember, you still have a customer and you still got to keep them happy.
My name is Gavin Smith. I'm a Vice President of Engineering and Technology for J.B. Hunt, mostly Springdale and Siloam. I was a Rogers kid, so.
Hi, I'm Linda Vitlasil. I'm part of Walmart Labs, which is the technology area for Walmart. And I look after analytics and data science. And so we write algorithms that you don't necessarily see, but you know them because when you, for example, shop on our website and something is very relevant to you, it's because our algorithms have informed us that this would be interesting for you.
Hi, I'm Angie Graves. I work for Axiom, and I lead program management in Axiom Engineering. My team basically sits between the business side and the engineering side to serve as a liaison to make sure that what they want us to go do, we actually go execute and get the projects out the door.
My name is Brandy Mitchell. I am an EVP and Executive Director in IT for Arvest, and Arvest pays me to make sure that our customer needs and our associate needs are met with information technology strategy. So that means that we get to help manage all the projects that roll out new cool stuff for you guys to use and for our associates to use.
Hi, my name is Chris Hampton. I'm with Stratus Consulting. We're an IT staffing firm. We place IT professionals with corporations, with governmental entities in order to help them meet their goals, be able to accomplish their projects.
I'm Andrew Fano. I'm sandwiched between greatness here. I'm with a company called Teradata. We enable companies like the ones up here to execute analytics at scale and get great answers to problems.
And we use Teradata. Yeah. So, I'm Terry Glover. I'm the Director of Infrastructure for Dillard's. And what that means is we still have things like mainframes, and they're still important to us, but we also take care of things like Unix, Linux, and Windows servers, and lots of security-related things.
Hi, I'm Kent Watson. I learned to code in Springdale High School, so good to see you guys here. I work at Matova. We do a lot of mobile application development, websites, then Internet of Things, so everything from reading utility meters wirelessly to Sirius XM, or if you happen to drive a Tesla, Slacker radio.
All right, I'm going to start us off with one question. So you all work with IT, I'm assuming, which we just heard that they do. What is your favorite part, or what is something that's wonderful that makes your job easier because you have IT?
You got it first. Go for it.
I'll start. My favorite part about engineering and technology, honestly, is the variety. I tell kids that are coming up through school to focus on being a problem solver and not necessarily on one particular skill set. But the thing I most enjoy, in addition to just working with smart people, is it's not a widget stamping job. No day is the same. You come in every day to a new challenge. And get to challenge yourself intellectually literally every day. So that's probably the part I find the most fun.
Almost stole my thunder there, but I like doing different things all the time. And I mean, learning new things is all about our job, and learning new technologies. I've been in the business for 40 years and learned things. Who knows what Fortran is? An old language. There's a few people here, but learned assembler and COBOL, and now there's all these new languages like Python and R, and so you get to learn new and exciting things, and it's something different every day. I'm glad I don't have to go to a job that it's the same thing that you do every day.
Susan, your question was, why do we like IT, right?
Yeah, what's your favorite part about working with IT?
Okay. Well, I'm going to answer, hopefully this will be an interesting answer for you. I'm in IT, but I also get served by IT, right? Other parts of IT. And because of other parts of IT, my job has been so much easier. I just carry a small tablet with me or laptop with me from meeting to meeting. I don't have to carry a pencil anymore. I don't have to carry a pen. All of our work is done in an environment where we can see what everybody else is doing as well as what we're doing ourselves. It is transparent, and our leadership can see what we're doing, and they can see the result of what we do. It allows us to do our work faster, and we can give our business partners answers a lot quicker. I mean, technology has really enabled so much of what we do, even within tech.
Very good, thank you. Now we'll open up for the floor to see if anybody has a question that they would like to ask. We'll come around with a microphone. All right, great. Please stand up, tell your name and where you're from, what's high school, and then your question.
I'm Connor Henson from the Don Tyson School of Innovation, and what were the work and education requirements that you guys had to have to get to where you are today?
He's handing the microphone to me for some reason. So my background was software development, so I did that for over 14 years. So I had to know how to code. But more than that, there's a few paths to learn to code. You need to understand how databases work, how to get data in and out of databases, how to store it properly. There are a lot of different types of databases now, just to make it a bit more confusing. Everything now, apps are connected. For instance, on my phone, when I leave work, it tells me how long it's going to take to get home. Or, I can start to get like predictive weather. Well, that's a lot of different services talking to each other. So if you want to go into the field of software, anything around building digital solutions, you need to understand how data flows between different services. If you're coding, you need to learn how APIs work. So, for my background, it's really the hardcore development in data. But then, of course, as I moved into management, it's more leadership skills, which is where I got my master's degree from the school team.
I'll just chime in too. So I kind of evolved into the project management space from, I started off as a systems administrator, like a hardware type role, customer support type role. And so originally to get hired, I needed a degree and just the general aptitude, for what I wanted to do. But I would say, I think the reason I got the first job was the willingness to want to learn new things and not to come in thinking, oh, I've mastered that, or I already know this. But it's more, I can do these things, but I can also apply these principles to whatever else may be coming. And I'm very eager to learn new things. And and so I've actually evolved to a completely different type of role from where I started. And that's another thing we might touch on later is how you never stay in the same place in IT. So I found a really happy place for me. But I think it's important to make sure you don't go in, whatever you think it is going in is probably not how it's going to be forever. But your attitude and your problem solving abilities and all that is really going to lend yourself to future success.
Okay, another question? This is a wonderful opportunity. You don't see this often, to be able to get this many wonderful people in the room in front of you. Yes, just one second. We'll bring a microphone to you.
Hi, my name is Stella Rada, and I'm from the School of Innovation. I want us to start off by saying, Mr. Hampton, I love your socks. They're fantastic. And my question is, where do you guys see the future of IT going?
You may have stumped the forum.
I'll do quick. I'm not going to hog this, but I am in the data industry. Axiom does a lot of data-driven marketing, if you know anything about Axiom. What I see the future of IT is data, data, data. It's all about data. What can you learn from data? What can you do with data? How can that not only impact marketing, which is where my company works, but healthcare or banking or finance or transportation or whatever it is. The more information you have, the more informed your decisions can be, the more effective that you can be with your business.
I'm going to piggyback on the last question because the microphone was way down there and I didn't think to ask for it in time. No, the curiosity that you need in every job that you ever take, in every role that you ever undergo, in every game you're playing, how did they make that? What is underlying the structure, the story that's being told in the game? What's making up the reason that we're in the place that we're at? And so for me, curiosity, and combine that with work ethic. So every job I've ever been in, my curiosity about why are we doing it this way? This doesn't make much sense to me. The whole purpose of technology has been to make things more efficient and easier, to Linda's point, to get our jobs done. But it also took hard work. I couldn't just ask all those questions and then not be willing to dig in and try to figure out what's the answer to that or how do we make it better. And that means that you got to dig in and really, really work hard. But to the point that we were asking about how did we get to where we are and what experiences did that require, and what was your question again? The future of IT. That curiosity means that the future of IT is a trajectory that's going up and up and up and up. So Angie talked about data, but then what do we do with that data if there's so much of it that a human being can't even look at it or read it, right? So this idea of artificial intelligence, which to a lot of people sounds like robots, but really has to do with how do we answer questions in that data without having a person have to do it? How do we automate things in a way that keeps us from having to pay 27 people when I can pay one person to run an application that can answer that question for us or get that information for us. And so the background in mathematics and algorithms and how does all that work and play is going to be a really critical skill in the future. that plays into other things like blockchain and other big high-tech machine learning kinds of trends that are coming in the industry. I would say Terry and I were at an event last week, was that 2 weeks ago in Orlando? Not that we traveled together for our companies, but it was a big IT technology event, and they talk about the future of technology, and that's why we were there to talk about that, and all the things coming, and the Internet of Things, and sensors that have your refrigerator order milk for you because it could tell that the weight of the milk jug in your refrigerator wasn't as heavy as it should be. That there is a bit of a plateau, and there always will be. We're going to get all these cool technologies, and then we're going to have a little pause because the people who can create and work and do the work in those technologies don't exist yet. And so we're at this plateau period where we really need a whole bunch of people to be working in technology, and we are hiring and paying a lot of money for people to come in and do this work to catch up to the technology that's been coming over the past few years. So that's just one perspective that I got to hear about last week, or 2 weeks ago.
The other thing I would say to that, just building on that, is that how do we secure that technology? So if we have our refrigerator that knows our milk jug's half empty, how does that not get hacked? How does that not get into our home network?
Because I don't want my bank account.
That's right. That's right. Right. So, and then Axiom knows that you use your bank account to pay for that jug of milk. I mean, everything's tied together. And so, you know, the big data, the advent of technology, this soft technology in the home, and then how do you secure it all? And so, for me, cybersecurity has been a huge, huge growth area for us. Originally, we started doing stuff for the Department of Defense, and now we're doing, I have a person on Monday starting with Smithsonian Institute. You don't even think about the Smithsonian getting hacked. I mean, what are they going to do, find out how a dinosaur is made? You know? So, I mean, cyber's big.
Robots are taking over the world. It's Terminator. It's all coming true. You don't even need to go to college. It's over. No, but it's going from a thing where technology is enabler until where it is replacing. I think Brandy touched on that. And the jobs and the skills that you're going to be looking for in the technology space may be somewhat different in the future. And you'll be either the creator of that type of technology, or you'll have to see of ways that you work in parallel or alongside of that. But there's great things. Again, we said yesterday, you know, your kids are never going to probably drive a car. And you guys are getting your licenses now, but, you know, in a few years you may not be driving, right? I don't actually enjoy driving that much. Maybe once in a while I wouldn't mind getting behind the wheel, but I'd rather be on my laptop on the half-an-hour drive down here this morning, getting work done and multitasking. And that's really, it's going to be augmenting what we do and doing many things and many tasks that we do today. Where it's been a facilitator in the past, it's going to replace me in the future.
Or maybe we could just teleport, right?
Well, you can.
Yeah.
So
Beam us up, right?
that's a nice way. So instead of asking the question, what's the future of technology? The future is technology. So then ask yourself the question, where are different industries right now going to be using technology differently? Whether it's how are you going to interact with healthcare? How are you going to interact with retail? What does manufacturing look like? It's all going to be based on tech.
So, great question. Impossible to answer. You know, I found out recently I'm part of a micro generation between Generation X and Millennials. It's called the Zennials. And basically, we grew up with pagers and pay phones in junior high, and we had cell phones in high school. So, you know, I still think I'm kind of young. I'm learning I'm not as I meet more people your age. But just think about that. Like, we grew up with a TV where you had to turn a knob. We would have never envisioned that we'd watch videos on our iPhone on an airplane that we just downloaded at the airport. Like, that seemed impossible. So I can't tell you what we're going to be doing. What I can tell you is what's going on now is we're putting sensors everywhere. How many of you guys have Google Home or Alexa in your house? Okay, so when I grew up, we were worried about Big Brother. We're worried about these microphones and cameras watching what we've done. And now, because you're consumers and want convenience, you've put an always-on microphone in your house. You know, that's something we wouldn't have allowed, but your generation's more comfortable with technology. It doesn't seem foreign. So, You know, just you think about right now, I have to interact with this phone. I have to tell this phone what I want to do. As we start putting sensors in every environment, so cameras on the street lights, you know, they have microphones on street lights to determine there's gunshots in the area, send the police. You know, your city becomes aware of what's going on and starts to do things for you. So you guys, your kids are gonna grow up in an environment where computers and robots are just gonna be a part of the natural environment. And that's going to open up new lines of thought and new possibilities that we can't even dream of right now.
Yeah, and all of these folks have told you some great things about where we could potentially go. But I would turn that around and ask, where do you think technology's going? Because you're the ones that are going to shape where technology goes. 10 years from now, technology won't even look like it does today. And that'll be because of you all. So think about things. Keep your mind and imagination open. Right now, you've got the building blocks to take technology anywhere you want to go. You think about it and you decide where it goes.
Well, and just to echo this is coming from leaders who, in the 90s and 2000s, we're told, no, don't. It was all about SOX compliance, is around process. And now we're saying, go, break it, figure it out. I mean, you're in kind of a golden age of innovation. You know, you can go down the street and you have access to an MIT Fab Lab here where you can go in and get materials and just make things. Those are resources that we didn't have. We had libraries with books. You have libraries with capabilities to make things.
All right, everyone get out your tickets. We're going to do our first drawing.
This is the best part. How exciting.
Okay, so what do I have here? I have Jam Live True wireless earphones. Pretty cool. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And the ticket number is 396783. Come and get it.
Come on down.
We want to hear your name and what school you're from.
My name is Adriana Manzo, and I'm from Don Tyson School of Innovation.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, we want to replay this? Guess what? It's a football. But it's not only a football, it's a speaker, and it can get wet. So I know this time of year we're not in the pool that much, but you know, hey, when you're in the bathtub and you're wanting to play football. Okay, 763. Yeah, last three, 763.
All right,
There you go.
all right.
Anyone say your name and where you're from?
I'm Alexander Nelson from the Don Tyson School of Innovation.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
All right. And just as a teaser, so you really be excited, there's a VR headset, Bluetooth headphones, and not available in stores, a Teradata Bluetooth speaker. All right. And yeah, I know, it does analytics at scale. Yeah. Last three numbers are 798. Come on down. Your name and your school?
I'm Alejandra Barroso, and I'm from Springdale High School.
Congratulations.
All right, we'll open it back up for questions.
I'm Robert Pearson. I go to Don Tyson School of Innovation. In the next few years or so, or generations, just over time, where will we draw the line with technology? How comfortable will we be, letting that in our homes?
Okay, so I'm just going to tell a funny story just because it came to my mind. I have a couple of friends who work in Joplin, and they are in the bank. They're like bankers, not in technology, but they have installed at their homes a thing called Ring, which is the video camera at the front door that if somebody walks up, obviously it starts videoing, but if the doorbell is rung, it pings their mobile phone. Well, don't any of you try this at home, but apparently it's a cool thing for kids nowadays to come and ring the doorbell and then run away, ha ha ha. Well, one of the daughters of the other one got recorded doing that at her boss's house, and she came in that day to go, so we think this is your son who was doing this at our house. I tell that story because it's already there. There are so many things already that our homes, our cars, everything has capabilities already built into it. So to me, I can't imagine what that line looks like, especially with artificial intelligence and the to-do list I have today won't even exist a year, 2 years from now.
I agree. I feel like that line's constantly moving. We were talking about Alexa and Google Home and, feeling comfortable with that. That's light years from where would have been acceptable, when I was a kid, right? So what's going to be acceptable as you get older and as you have kids and everything else, we have no idea. I think we're going to be opening ourselves up to, allowing technology to be a little bit more, I think the word's innocuous in our lives, right? That we won't even realize that we're interacting with the technology because it'll be so integrated into our lives.
One thing that I'll say is I don't think there's a limit to where it's going, and they're saying the line's moving. But there are some folks, I think Gartner just had something that came out, that they see on the horizon a backlash, kind of an analog backlash where people who are going to unplug, they're going to take these things and the intrusiveness out and kind of blocking your homes. And I can even see that there's certain things where I'm starting to think, I have a password manager, and I'm thinking, wow, all of these different things I have, I need to start closing these accounts, that I have, because why have that type of information or those passwords or ways of taking my identity away? And so I think there is, and you see it being legislated in the EU, where there's a lot of things around personal identifiable information and what can be shared, and you have to opt into things. So I think that you'll see some legislation in that space, and you'll see some people starting to opt out. It's cool to a point, but there's probably some limits that people are going to put in place.
It's a great question. In 2012-ish, New York City set up all their cameras, public and private, to where they can go run a query and say, find everybody with a red hat. And the video system would come up with every single camera of somebody wearing a red hat, and they can go back to that video. So they're saying if Boston had this during the marathon bombing, they would have found the suspect in 20 minutes. So if you think about that, that's an excellent tool for police and to guarantee your safety. I mean, the system can even detect that somebody dropped a bag and walked off from it in a park. So now we don't have to have this reported, the machines are determining this. But at the same time, now you're being recorded and the police know where you're going. Somebody could do something with that data you don't want them to. So, we have to figure out what's the right balance of convenience and safety versus what could damage us. I mean, we all trust Google right now. It's all bubbly and nice. But if you think about, they know where you are, they know who you're emailing, they have your bank account reset instructions, you've given them access to everything. Could somebody do something bad with that data in the future? Especially when we move more to digital currencies and whatnot. It's just, I think it's uncharted. I think we're going to figure out how much we trust it here in the next few years.
Hello. Oh, great, this works. Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Michael Kennedy. I'm in the DTSOI section, as you can tell. Anyway, I was morally curious. Everyone's asking these broad, generalized questions. What inspired you to be in IT? Well, that's more generalized to all of you, but Andrew, you have to go first.
I would like to say that I was really driven. I mean, I took Fortran, right, and I had to take courses in college with my engineering degree. But I started out in a company that did robotics and automation. After 11 years with that, I got a horrible boss, and it made me look. And I looked to Teradata. I found it was exciting. It was something that I changed paths. And I've said this a few times before, maybe to some people even here. It's an exciting time for me now, but I didn't plan it this way. But that automation stuff and robotics, the physical technology and the digital technology are converging now. You see it in automated cars, you see it in the diagnostics that go on trains and planes and how they're sending the information back and going in for maintenance based on things that are going on. So that intersection is here, and it's fun to kind of watch, but I'd be lying if I say I planned it.
So for me, I always knew I was going to be an engineer, and it was a matter of which one once I got to school. We just got through looking at the data for you guys. My choice was made pretty easy in terms of the supply and demand, and that game really hasn't changed. There aren't enough people that can do these jobs. As a result, average entry-level salary is about 70 grand. I was a math guy even back then, and you know, if I can get into an industry and solve problems and get paid really well to do it, it wasn't a tough choice. And the other cool part just about this industry is the amount of change. iPhones didn't exist when I came out of school. You know, the innovation that's happened just in the past 18 to 20 years is massive, and will double and triple again in the next 5 to 10 years. So if you enjoy change and you enjoy being challenged and you enjoy being paid well, it's a decent industry. So those three things were pretty obvious for me even back then.
I think that I lucked into it, and God bless me, because my degree was in economics and management, and I got into IT because I took a logic test with IBM, and they hired me one day. And then, you know, I look back on how I got here, and it was the greatest thing, because it's been, you know, we don't work for retail companies. We're kind of technologists, and we work for technology companies within our organizations. Sometimes I think we forget we have customers, but we have to remember who our customers are and what we're doing this for. But we're doing it to solve business problems, or problems for our companies to be able to be competitive and to make money and help, you know, our customers, of course. But I lucked into it, and I'm so glad I did. And I was going to, you know, follow on with, we cannot find, there's so many job openings in every one of our companies that need to be filled. And, you know, you don't have to write code. If you like working with equipment, if you can communicate with other people, there's a job for you in IT. It's not just about working or trying to code. You know, when I thought of IT a long time ago, it was I had to learn a language and I had to be a programmer. There are so many jobs within IT now that are not coding. So, you know, if you're interested in IT, just find out what area in IT that you're interested in. There's a lot out there.
I was going to say, mine goes way back before even making a decision about college. I remember I was about 10 or 11. My dad at the time was an IT consultant. This is in the 80s. I mean, this was when it was really new to do that. And one of my science fair projects, he gave me the idea of a microchip, because it was when microchips were, you know, it was a big innovation, right? And so I remember building this styrofoam model with the pins coming out of it, and just that curiosity Brandy mentioned earlier, something clicked, I think, about how could this circuit, how could this chip do anything? It's just, you know, it's wires and metal, and I don't understand. And not long after that, the Commodore 64 came out, and that was my first computer. And I remember, it seems so silly compared to what we have now. I remember being fascinated by that. And I would write these just simple, basic programs to make colors appear or generate a crossword puzzle for the dot matrix printer. And I thought, this is fantastic. Like, this is so cool. And from then on, I knew, like I said, from 6th, 7th grade on, I knew something in IT is where I was going to end up.
So first of all, this side of the room, you guys need to ask more questions. They're kind of beating you. So, you know, I like to break things. I'm not so good at fixing things. I'm also really good at building new things. So Give me a sledgehammer, I'll tear down a wall, build a new one. I'm not gonna fix the wall. When I was a kid, I went to summer camp, came back, and there was a computer. So I started messing around with it, broke it, didn't want to get in trouble, so I had to learn how to fix it. In the course of that, I just started learning how computers work. I mean, so that was at a very young age. We didn't have technology in school at your age then. So I just learned how things worked, and then, I go into an enterprise. I was fortunate enough to get my foot in the door at Tyson, and, I started seeing problems like, hey, this is a problem, I can fix that. So nobody told me this is a problem that needs fixed. It's just something I identified, and it made people's jobs easier. So, being able to go come up with an idea and then go build that, write the code, pull the data together, and then see how people use something you built, that was really rewarding to me.
I think it's time for another drawing. So if you will get out your tickets again.
So this is a Yoga Tablet 3. It's got 16 gig of memory. It's pretty cool. And the first one is last 3 digits, 780. 780. Who got it? All right, come on up. All right, so you're going to tell us who you are and what school and what interests you in IT. Why are you here? besides being out of school.
Oh boy. I gotta think about this one. I don't really know.
Okay, your name.
Okay. Well, my name is Dakota Preston, and I'm from the Don Tyson School of Innovation. And I guess I kind of just came here to learn more of what these people were interested in and why they went to what they do now. Yeah, I mean...
See if it's for you, huh? Okay, well, have fun with that. All right, next one. I got it in my hand. I'll throw it to you. Got it. All right, last 3 is 759. 759. Who's got it? Who's got it? Come on up.
Yes, I do see a correlation here. Questions, prizes.
So, what's your name?
I'm Venus Cato. I'm from Don Tyson School of Innovation.
And you're interested in what area of IT or...
I came here to learn more. I came here to explore.
All right, generalist.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is an Arduino starter kit. So there's wires and lights and different things. This is a microcontroller. You'll have to code it in C, kind of a harder language. So my challenge to you is whoever gets this, build something and tell me what you built, and that could help you with your career in the future. Okay, so the last 3 are 777. That's a very lucky number. Do we have a 777?
Anybody? No?
You guys want to check your tickets real fast? Should we draw again? All right, that's a forfeit. So next person's even luckier. All right, 776. Wow, these are... All right.
Very good.
All right, and so what's your name, school, and what are you interested in technology?
I'm Robert Pearson. I go to Don Tyson School of Innovation. What's the last question?
What are you interested in technology? What do you want to do? It's okay if you don't know.
I mean, I just like technology, really.
Okay, great. All right, well, have fun.
All right, we have, what is this? Wireless earphones. Wireless earphones. All right. So if we get a 775, it'll freak me out. 801. 801. Yeah! Woo-hoo! All right, your name, your school, and why you're here.
My name is Alexis Rojas. I'm from Springdale High School. And what I find interesting, what was the question?
No, well, yes. What do you find interesting about IT?
What I find interesting is, the people that are involved, where technology could lead us into the future. And yeah.
All right. You'll be one of those maybe, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Do I have to see what's in it? It's a surprise. Okay. This is the mystery goodie gift bag. To be epic. Okay. I can, oh, you want me to stand? Okay. Okay. Here we go. The last three numbers are 800. 800.
All right.
So tell us your name, your school, and what's interesting to you about technology.
My name is Mia Chungam, and I'm from Springdale High School. And what interests me is like how they formed computers and technology. Yeah.
That's great.
Nice.
The history of technology is great. There you go. Congratulations.
All right, I think we're ready for another question. Down front.
The left side has appeared to have noticed there is a correlation between prizes and questions.
I'm Kirsten Titus, and I come from the Don Tyson School of Innovation. And my question is, what are the pros and cons when working with technology?
Why are you handing me the mic? Pros and cons. Well, it's kind of interesting. Like, you guys have heard of Uber, right? I don't really look at Uber as a technology company because the technology is actually really simple, but they're actually changing insurance, how insurance works. So if you get in an Uber, there's actually an insurance policy that starts when you start your ride, and then the policy ends when you end your ride. So that's something that really forces, transportation companies to kind of rethink, how do we do insurance? Could we actually, manage loads in this manner? So not an exact answer to what are the pros and cons, but I think what's happening right now are the forces in technology change, and businesses being upset are forcing companies to rethink their business model. In fact, I saw some statistics recently. The average age of a company is now like 12 years. And you have to realize, just a few years ago, the average age of a company is like 60 years. If you look at the S&P 500, I think I can't remember the exact stats, but like 82% of companies are on there 20 years ago are gone. So, I grew up when Sears Roebuck was a thing. It was a big thing. It was everywhere. It's gone. All these big brands that built a lot of careers, a lot of American symbols are changing. And, even the Ubers aren't safe. There are companies coming disrupting them. So it's just a state of constant change in technology and business models.
So pros and cons, right? The pro is this is an industry that's always changing. You're always going to get to work on cool technology, and that cool technology is going to be really, really vital to people's day-to-day lives, which comes with the con. Things break occasionally, and when they break, it's a big deal, and you're usually right in the heart of that storm trying to figure it out. So occasionally, it can be a high-pressure environment trying to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it to get your customers back up and going. So for me, that's probably the biggest pro and con is you're always going to be working on cool stuff, but if something breaks, you're always going to be right in the middle of it.
In the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? At 3 o'clock in the morning when no one's there to help you with it. Have any of you seen the movie Hidden Figures? Hidden Figures? Hidden Figures? Seriously? Okay, go home tonight and watch the movie Hidden Figures. The aha moment for me when I watched that movie, to the point that technology is always changing and we're changing around technology. The label computer used to be a person, because it was a person with a little calculator doing the math that a computer does for us now. And so for me, the con for technology, and there are people who are futurists that go like way, way, way far into the future about decisions that we're gonna have to make and the ethics behind the choices that we're making with the technology that we're using today. But the con is the job will always change. I used to be with a pen and paper, then I was with a calculator. Now a computer is doing my job. How am I gonna be curious enough and paying attention enough to know in Hidden Figures, like she did, that they just brought in this giant IBM computer thing and somebody's gonna need to run that thing. And I know that that's job security for me in the future. So back to the curiosity part, and the part you play in that is making sure that you're watching for that you're keeping up with what's coming next. And as organizations, we have to be critically taking care of the people who work in our organizations and making sure that they're ready for the next thing that's coming along.
All right, another question? Let's go on this side, I think.
Hi, I'm Avery Horton from Silent Springs High School, and I have a question for Ms. Bennett. How do you prepare for interviews?
So telling you how to prepare for interviews. Yeah. So first of all, do research on the company. So be well informed. So when you walk in, you can speak to that business and how you could add value to that. Update your social media. And I would tell everyone, word of advice, if you don't want your mom to see it on social media, you don't want a business to see it either. So kind of remember that, because that pertains to Facebook, Twitter, everything. Create a LinkedIn profile as well, because that's very instrumental and key in getting identified as a potential candidate for these positions that companies have. And rehearse. I mean, it sounds super cheesy and totally corny, but get comfortable with what you're going to say and try to do some research on questions that they might ask you when you're interviewing. Just be comfortable in your own skin when you get there and present the best you that you can, and you'll be successful. And thank you for asking me a question.
Another question?
So my name is Colton Petty, and I'm a senior at the Don Tyson School of Innovation, and I'm interested in like sales and business management and stuff like that. But my question would be is, do you think learning coding would be a key element of going into that as we evolve, and what other career fields would you say would be learning how to code would be good in?
So the question is, if you're interested in sales and marketing, if the development background would help you, and are you interested in getting leadership in the future? I said, are you interested in getting into leadership?
Sure, I'm more interested in like, I love the aspect of doing something different every day with sales, and I love the interaction with people,
So an easy thing for you to adapt, if you can pick up the technology and have a great background there, is to get into software sales. Those are jobs that are really hard to fill, because people that are really good salespeople that understand technology are few and far between. I would tell you, I've made a career out of what you just described. I think I did exactly 3 years of software development. And figured out I cared more about the what and the why, and wanted to be closer to the customers, and started doing sales support and was pretty good at that, and was decent at leading people, so they moved me around. So while I got a degree in computer systems engineering, I would tell you I used that degree in reality in terms of actual coding for all of 3 years. The 17 years since, my other skill sets in terms of leadership and salesmanship and that have helped, but having that foot in the door in technology and being able to do it will help accelerate your growth, because this industry, and I'm going to offend everybody. Most of us are introverts. If you're a guy that can pick up technology and sell, you're gonna stand out. I know Bill well. Absolutely. You'll stick out like a sore thumb if you can, in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, because the thing, just real quick on that, is when you get into sales, the main thing you have to bring to the table is that customer has a business problem that you've got to solve. The more background you have on the technology that can solve that problem, instead of just, yeah, I hear you, but here's what I'm selling today. You're not going to get anywhere. If you can listen to them, that's another thing, listening skills. You can listen to them and then hear what their problem is and come up with a solution. Yeah, like Gavin says, you will stick out in a good way.
All right, we have a drawing to do.
Thank you. Oh, there you go.
Whatever you, all those are us. You can make. Stepping on it. Can you allow for it? Yeah. What do you want?
What is that?
Oh, okay. You got some wireless skull candy headphones. Couple sets. Last three digits, 750. All right, your name, your school, and what is your favorite mobile app?
Okay, so my name is Maribel Santillan. I go to Sound Springs High School, and my favorite app is probably Snapchat.
Last three digits, 779. All right, name, school, and favorite website this time.
My name is Carla Madrano. I go to Don Tyson School of Innovation. Favorite website? Well, I kind of don't know. I only use like Snapchat, Instagram, like that's pretty much is it.
Okay, we have an Apple TV 4K. That's pretty awesome, right? Right, all right. Let's see who we got. The winning number is 807. No, there she is. Okay, you know the drill. Name, school. What is something you don't like about technology or would change if you could?
Okay, my name is Ariana Allen, and I'm from Springdale High School Business and IT Academy. And something I would change about IT is, I don't know, that's a hard question.
If you weren't here today, what would you be doing if you could skip out of here?
I would be eating right now, to be honest.
Thank you.
The grand finale. We have a 40-inch beautiful smart TV right here. I know, I gotta shake them up. They're all like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. 756. I expect this person to jump up too. carry this around the rest of the day. You're gonna like walk around with it, be like, look what I won. Okay, name, school, and favorite YouTuber.
Okay, so I'm Micah Ritz. I'm from Salem Springs High School, and my favorite YouTuber is Good Mythical Morning.
Sweet. All right, thanks, sir. Congratulations.
I would have slapped him.
You sure you don't want to sit with it? Okay. Fair enough.
Well, I wish that we could continue on this conversation because we've got a lot of great insights today. We got a lot of great questions. We want to thank you, the students, for attending today. Thank you, educators, for allowing your students to come and for the schools to do so. This is such a wonderful experience. Those of you who are live in Video Land, thank you for joining us today, too. I want to thank the people who put this event together, so Mr. Eric Bradford and team of the Outreach and Conference Hub. We want to especially thank and honor our esteemed executives that came here today because they have an interest and an investment in you, and they would not do this. They are living very busy lives. So thank you and for taking time to work with us today and being a part of this. Okay, so those of you who won a door prize, you'll come down here to take a picture. And then also our educators, we have a special gift for you as well. So if you will also come down and get your thing. Thank you for being here today. Yay.